this is jumping ahead a little bit, but since you brought it up, I guess, do you find that because you have that experience in the ring, and I noticed that you downplayed a lot, but you got to wrestle, you got to work with some great names, and we'll get to some of them hopefully within the interview. But do you find that it gives you a greater appreciation, especially since you do work behind the scenes, since you're quote unquote office, you have a more of appreciation for the talent because everybody will appreciate the talent and the talent will generally appreciate everybody working, but when you're someone who does both, you can see both sides, and it probably makes it a lot easier to understand both sides when there's an issue or you need to communicate something.
No, absolutely correct. And it's one of those things where you try to see it from both sides. But I also really think it's important to take what I've learned and the mistakes I've made and make sure that the younger talent, as I'm discussing things with them and giving them advice, that they don't have to make the same dumb mistakes I did. Like when ROH and HDNet got canceled, I had the attitude of, I'm used to doing things on this level, so why would I ever do it below here?
Yeah.
Which essentially just means I took my ball and I went home. I mean, yeah, we downsized and a lot of us lost our jobs with Ring of Honor at the time because it was barely keeping its doors open and I was a broadcaster. They're not going to fly me in. And then Sinclair brought it and it evolved, which I'm so happy for. But Kerry Silken, the former owner of Ring of Honor, really gave all of us a platform and was responsible for so many people in this entire wrestling landscape right now. From Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn to Seth Rollins to Claudio Castagnoli to Bryan Danielson to I'm running a wrestling company. Like all of us, Homicide, who I work with now. It's just so many people were given an opportunity to be so much greatness, and whether it was how we wanted it to be or not, I had this talk with Pat Kenny, who was in ECW, and I told him that, did he realize how pivotal ECW was to professional wrestling when he was in it? Essentially WWE adopted the style, the attitude, everything. It is one of those things that you look back and you say, like, ECW shaped the entire wrestling landscape for the next 20 years to come. When he goes, no, I had no idea at the time. We were just like, hey, this seems cool. We're having fun. Some people are doing drugs. Some people are having sex. We're just getting paid. We're trying to do what we're doing. And it dawned on me, like, Ring of Honor changed the next 20 years of professional wrestling. The technical style, the personalities, all of that was what, and the stars became the entire landscape of professional wrestling. And so I was like, oh my God, I was a part of the second weird thing that
Yeah.
affected professional wrestling. And Pat's like, yeah. He's like, don't ever forget that. You were a part of something that shaped an entire, sport and industry. I was like, oh my God, I got goosebumps thinking about it. Because in my head, I'm like, I was just some guy that never worked out in the way I wanted to. But it's like we were a part of something weird. That's crazy.